And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Mr. Familoni, and here is to Vop Tv. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
My name is Made Kuti and you're watching Vop TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is Vop TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing Vop TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. Vop TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television. Vop TV. Now you have more than a voice. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television. Don't just react, understand. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more, tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count. It's awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on Vop TV. Entertainment like never before.
In a world where power shifts its every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not speed. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television.
Well, hello and welcome to News Hour on Voice of the People TV. I am Vivian Oguche. Before we begin, kindly visit our website, www.vop.ng, for fresh and trending news. First, the headlines. Shatima to chair NEC Conference on Economic Growth. Senate to hold emergency sitting Tuesday over Electoral Act. Serap asks Code of Conduct Bureau to probe senators over Electoral Act and tax bills. NLC warns of nationwide protests over Senate's Electoral Act ambiguity. Also, APC accuses Osun government of planning pensioners' protest and government denies claim. PDP chieftain condemns Kwara massacre, slams a military response. On the foreign scene, Ethiopia accuses Eritrea of military aggression and backing armed groups. While in business news, tomato prices to drop during Ramadan, farmers assure Nigerians. Sports news, Tinubu directs authorities on adequate sports funding. While in entertainment, Mo Abudu dismisses alleged cabal controlling cinema screenings. Now will preside over a two-day National Economic Council NEC conference scheduled for Monday, February 9 and 10 at the banquet hall of the Presidential Villa, Abuja. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Kwocha, who disclosed this in a statement on Sunday, said the conference is aimed at strengthening economic coordination and accelerating inclusive growth across the 36 states of the Federation. The conference, convened by Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Bakar Bagudu, will bring together stakeholders, governors, and key national stakeholders to discuss fiscal coordination, investment mobilization, and shared development strategies between the federal and state governments. President Bola Tinubu will attend as special guest of honor, alongside other senior government officials, development partners, and private sector leaders. In the meantime, the Senate will hold an emergency plenary sitting on Tuesday, February 10, 2026, according to a statement on Sunday by the clerk of the Senate, Emmanuel Odo. The statement said the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has directed the reconvening of plenary for the emergency sitting, and all senators have been requested to attend. The session is scheduled to commence at 12 noon. The emergency sitting comes after the Senate passed the amendment bill on February 4, but voted down Clause 60, subsection 3, which would have required presiding officers to electronically transmit results from polling units directly to the Independent National Electoral Commission's result viewing portal in real time. The rejected clause aimed to make the process mandatory. It was replaced with a discretionary transfer of results, allowing electronic transmission only after votes are counted and publicly announced at polling units. In the meantime, the Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has petitioned the Code of Conduct Bureau to investigate members of the Senate and other public officers over alleged irregularities in the passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill and the tax reform laws. In a statement by SERAP Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadari, the organization is seeking what it called a prompt, thorough, and effective probe into claims that some senators removed provisions on electronic transmission of election results from the Electoral Act Amendment Bill during plenary, despite a majority having voted for their inclusion and without any debate on the proposed removal. The organization also wants the CCB to investigate alterations in the tax reform bills, which allegedly led to discrepancies between the National Assembly's versions and the gazetted copies. Also, the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has warned of possible countrywide protests and election boycotts over confusion and contradictory positions by the Senate and amendments to the Electoral Act, particularly regarding the electronic transmission of election results. The Labour Union accused the Senate of undermining public confidence in Nigeria's electoral process by failing to clearly state whether electronic transmission of results will be mandatory. The NLC stressed that Nigerians deserve a transparent system where votes are not only counted but seen to be counted, and demanded that the Senate issue an immediate, official, and unambiguous account of the exact provisions passed. Well, in another development, the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Osun State has accused the state government of planning to use pensioners to protest the payment of federal allocations to APC local government chairmen and councillors on Monday. A statement by the party's director of media, Kola Olabisi, claimed the government had concluded arrangements to manipulate some retirees into staging protests at branches of the United Bank for Africa in relation to the ongoing crisis in local government areas. The APC has appealed to the State Commissioner of Police, Ibrahim Gothan, and other security agencies to intervene and prevent the protest, claiming the governor is sponsoring the protest after losing in court and public opinion. However, the governor's spokesperson dismissed the allegation. He said the allegation reflects the APC's fear of consequences of what he described as its anti-human actions on local government issues, and insisted that Governor Adeleke and his administration respect the rule of law. Now to security matters. A former presidential aspirant on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, Gbenga Olawepo Hashim, has demanded or condemned the recent killings in the Woro community of Kwara State, describing the incident as a grim illustration of Nigeria's worsening rural insecurity and failure of state protection. He said in a statement that the attack, which claimed many lives, exposed deep flaws in the country's security architecture, particularly the authorities' inability to respond swiftly to distress calls from remote communities. He also requested the absence of aerial or questioned the absence of aerial intervention during the attack, arguing that claims about the community's remoteness were untenable, given Nigeria's air power capabilities, and stated that condolences alone were no longer sufficient in the face of such large-scale violence. Meanwhile, Pope Leo XIV has expressed sorrow over the recent wave of violent attacks in Nigeria, describing the incidents as deeply troubling. The pontiff made the remarks in a post on X on Sunday, offering prayers for victims of terrorism and communal violence following deadly assaults reported in Kwara, Katsina, and Benue states. The attack have left dozens dead, homes razed, and residents displaced across several communities in the affected states. Pope Leo XIV called on authorities to intensify efforts to protect citizens, stating that he hopes the competent authorities will continue to work with determination to ensure the safety and protection of the life of every citizen. The Vatican's expression of concern comes amid renewed security concerns in Nigeria, with the federal government facing criticism for its handling of the crisis. Over now to Kogi State, where the police command has advised residents to comply with the temporary closure of selected markets and motor parks in parts of the state, particularly in Kogi West Senatorial District. The statement issued on Sunday by the command's public relations officer, ASP Saliu Afusat, said the directive supports ongoing security operations conducted with the Office of the National Security Advisor and other agencies. Affected areas include Lokoja, Kababunu, Iyagba West, Iyagba East, Kogi, and Mopamuro local government areas. Back in Lagos here, the state government has sealed off Ladipo Square Parts Market along the Murtala Mohammed International Airport Road over alleged repeated environmental infractions. Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokumbo Wahab, announced the development in a post shared on X on Sunday, stating that the shutdown was part of the state's ongoing enforcement drive to ensure compliance with environmental laws and discourage street trading and improper waste disposal. The market, which had previously faced sanctions over similar issues, was reopened in 2023 after it met stipulated environmental and sanitation requirements, according to a statement by Kadiri Folashade, Public Affairs Director at the Lagos State Ministry of Environment and Water Resources. Well, switching some gears now, the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, has cancelled its Monday sit-at-home directive in the Southeast, effective February 9, 2026, according to a statement by IPOB spokesperson Ima Powerful on Sunday. The directive, which was put in place in August 2021 to protest the rendition and incarceration of IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu, has been officially and permanently lifted. Powerful said, citing Kanu's instructions, markets, schools, offices, transport services, and economic activities are expected to resume fully and normally from Monday with no justification for anyone to stay at home, the statement added. You're watching News Hour on Vop TV. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. And now joining us virtually to analyze these stories is Opeyemi Ogunlami. He is a public affairs analyst. Opeyemi, it's always a pleasure to have you join us. Welcome. Opeyemi, can you unmute your device so that we can hear you clearly? Can you hear me, Opeyemi? All right, we seem to be having some connectivity issues with Opeyemi. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing Vop TV, now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens. We'll bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
Welcome back, everyone. Unfortunately, we weren't able to connect with Opayemi Ogulami, but we'll try to do so some other time. But here are the rest of the stories. Enugu state government has generated a total of 406.77 billion naira from taxes and other revenue sources in 2025, marking an increase from the 180.5 billion naira recorded in the 2024 fiscal year. Executive Chairman of the Enugu State Internal Revenue Service, Emmanuel Ekene Namani, disclosed this on Sunday while briefing journalists, explaining that although the state had projected an internal revenue target of 509.9 billion naira for 2025, it achieved about 80% of the target. According to him, the 2025 performance represents a major leap in the state's revenue profile and reflects what he described as growing fiscal resilience and sustainability under the administration of Governor Peter Mba. He said Enugu State collected a total IGR of about 407 billion naira out of the 510 billion naira projected in the 2025 appropriation law. And away from that story, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will pay a 2-day visit to Kebbi State. Governor Nasir Idris announced on Sunday. The president is expected to commission projects executed by Governor Idris's administration and attend the Argungu International Fishing and Cultural Festival, scheduled to be held from 11 to 14th February. Governor Idris made the announcement while receiving defectors from other parties who joined the All Progressives Congress, APC, from Jega local government area of the state. And now a teacher from Yobe State, Gambo Lawan, has emerged as the best teacher in the Northeast at the 2026 National Teachers Award ceremony organized by the Federal Ministry of Education, according to a statement on Sunday. Lawan, who teaches at Yeri Maram Government Day Junior Secondary School, Potiskum, received a 25 million naira cash prize at the ceremony, which celebrated outstanding teachers for excellence, dedication, and innovation in classroom practice. Officials of the Yobe State Universal Basic Education Board said the selection process was rigorous, transparent, and merit-based, with emphasis on professionalism, classroom innovation, and measurable learning outcomes. Well, turning to other stories, a 62-year-old Lagos-based businessman has been arrested by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Makia, Kano, for attempting to smuggle cocaine to China. According to a statement on Sunday by the NDLEA's Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, the arrest was made on Saturday during the outward clearance of passengers traveling to China via Addis Ababa on Ethiopian Airlines flight ET940. The suspect, who had ingested the illicit drugs, expelled 95 jumbo-sized wraps of cocaine weighing 1,001.589 kilograms and 7 excretion while under medical observation. Well, it's time for another short break. When we come back, foreign news, a business, a sports, and entertainment. Stay with us.
From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
Welcome back, everyone. On the foreign scene now, Ethiopia's Foreign Minister Gideon Timotheus has accused Eritrea of military aggression and supporting armed groups inside Ethiopian territory in a letter to Eritrean counterpart Osman Saleh. The letter claims Eritrean forces have occupied Ethiopian territory along their shared border and provided material support to militant groups operating in Ethiopia. The development has raised fears of a return to war between the two nations, who fought a war from 1998 to 2000. Both nations signed a peace deal in 2018, but relations have deteriorated since Eritrea was excluded from the 2022 agreement ending the Tigray conflict. The Ethiopian government, however, says it is willing to engage in good faith negotiations if Eritrea respects its sovereignty and territorial integrity. Well, over now to Thailand, where Prime Minister Anutin Shinawatra has claimed victory in Thailand's general election with early vote counts, putting his ruling Conservatives well ahead of their rivals. With almost 90% of the votes counted, Anutin's party is projected to win 194 seats in Bangkok's 500-seat parliament, with the People's Party in second place on 115. People's Party leader Nathan Fong has considered the election, expressing readiness to serve in opposition if Anutin can form a government. In Japan now, Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi's coalition swept to a landslide election win on Sunday, paving the way for her tax cuts that have spooked financial markets and military spending aimed at countering China. The conservative Takaichi, who is Japan's first female leader, was projected to deliver as many as 328 of the 465 seats in Parliament's lower house for her Liberal Democratic Party, LDP. The LDP alone had already sailed past the 233 seats needed for a majority less than 2 hours after polls closed. And with its coalition partner, the Japan Innovation Party, Takaichi is certain to deliver a supermajority that would ease her legislative agenda. In an interview as the results rolled in, the Prime Minister said this election involved major policy shifts, particularly in economic and fiscal policies, as well as strengthening security policy. According to Takaichi, these policies have drawn a great deal of opposition. Well, still on the foreign scene, Minister Abbas Araghchi has insisted that the recognition of Iran's right to enrich uranium is key for nuclear talks with the United States to succeed. Amid a U.S. naval buildup near Iran and Tehran's vows of a harsh response if attacked, American and Iranian diplomats held indirect talks in Oman on Friday aimed at reviving diplomacy. However, Araghchi said his country can never accept zero enrichment, hence the need to focus on discussions that accept enrichment inside Iran while building trust that enrichment is and will stay for peaceful purposes. In June, the U.S. attacked Iranian nuclear facilities at the end of a 12-day Israeli bombing campaign. Tehran said it has halted enrichment activity, which the U.S. views as a possible pathway to nuclear bombs. Well, in business news, the Growers, Processors and Marketers Association of Nigeria, TGP-MAN, has assured Nigerians that tomato prices will drop during the Ramadan fast, contrary to usual expectations of a price hike. The association's Kaduna State Chairman Rabiu Zunto stated that lower demand and increased cultivation of vegetables will lead to a price decrease. Zunto noted that the timing of this year's Ramadan, which begins in February and ends in March, coincides with the tomato harvest peak, leading to a high supply in the market. He noted that in some northern states, harvest is yet to pick up, which will further increase supply and lead to a price crash. The association expects prices to remain low due to the reduced demand during the fasting period. According to Zuntu, unlike previous years where Ramadan fell in April and led to a low supply, this year's timing is expected to benefit consumers. In sports news, President Bola Tinubu has directed the economic management authorities to ensure adequate and timely financing of Nigerian sports, beginning with the 2026 fiscal year. In a post on X, Tinubu described sports as one of Nigeria's strongest national brands and an instrument for unity and international visibility. Consequently, he directed that annual budgetary allocations for sports infrastructure, programs, and international competitions be provided and released immediately after budget passage and assent. The President further ordered a review of allocations for sporting activities spread across ministries, departments, and agencies. He ordered that such allocations should be restructured and streamlined with savings transferred into a unified funding framework under the National Sports Commission. So sports news, Nigeria's Falconets have secured a slim first leg advantage in the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifiers, defeating Senegal 1-0 at the MKO Abiola Sports Arena in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Though both teams showed determination, neither could find a breakthrough before the interval. However, substitute Kindness Ifeanyi scored the decisive goal in the second half, heading home from a corner kick in the 50th minute to separate both sides. She came close to doubling the advantage in the 66th minute, but the Senegalese goalkeeper stretched full length to push her effort away. The Falconets maintained disciplined defending and controlled play, with head coach Moses Aduku's second-half substitutions helping the team sustain momentum and see out the counter, in which Ifeanyi was later named player of the match for her match-winning performance. The return leg is scheduled for February 14 in Senegal. And now, entertainment news. A film exhibitor and cinema manager, Mo Abudu, has dismissed as lacking in economic sense the allegations that a group in Nollywood was working with cinema owners to restrict screening opportunities for certain films. Refuting the suggestion, Abudu stressed that cinema operations are guided by business considerations and audience demand rather than personal preferences or favoritism. Responding to veteran actress Omotola Jalade Ekinde, who noted during the discussion that actors and fans had confirmed some people convincing them to watch a different movie from the one they came to see, Abudu said it makes no commercial sense for cinemas to restrict screenings or discourage audiences from watching particular films. She further explained that screening schedules are adjusted based on performance, with cinemas balancing creative considerations with operational costs, including electricity and staff salaries. And in an unfortunate scenario, the Lagos State Police Command has confirmed the death of gospel artist Matthew Ogundele and 3 of his crew members in a music studio in the Ajah area of Lagos State. The spokesperson, Abimbola Adebisi, said the owner of the studio, who is also the husband of the celebrant, reported the incident. Alongside the other deceased crew members identified as Joseph Sonya, Ituno Ogundele, and a blogger, Matthew Awosoya, Ogundele was said to have stayed overnight after performing at a birthday praise event before their death. According to reports, they were invited to perform on the second of a 3-day birthday praise organized by another female gospel artist Adebisi cited Akintayo as saying that he left the artist at his music studio located in the HFP shopping complex after buying food for them, but was alarmed to discover their lifeless bodies when he returned to the studio at about 11 a.m. the next day. Well, may the souls of the deceased rest in peace. And that wraps it up for us on News Hour. But before we go, a quick look at the headlines. We told you that Vice President Kashim Shettima is to chair NEC Conference on Economic Growth. Also, Senate is to hold emergency sitting Tuesday over Electoral Act. We also told you that SERAP has asked a Code of Conduct Bureau to probe senators over Electoral Act and tax bills. NLC warns of nationwide protests over Senate Electoral Act ambiguity. APC accuses Osun government of planning pensioners' protest, and government denies claim. While PDP chieftain condemns Kwara massacre, slams military response. On the foreign scene, we told you that Ethiopia has accused Eritrea of military aggression and backing armed groups. In business news, tomato prices to drop during Ramadan, farmers assure Nigerians. In sports news, Tinubu directs authorities on adequate sporting funding. Well, in entertainment news, Mo Abudu dismisses alleged cabal controlling cinema screenings. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV, and on other social media platforms, we are at Vop TV Live. If you witness news happening near you, we want to hear from you. Send your eyewitness reports, event coverage requests, photos or videos directly via WhatsApp to 0814-606-4057. You can also reach our newsroom by email at news@vop.ng. I am Vivian Oguche. Thank you for watching.